Hello, we're on YouTube as well. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Christy-Faith. We're talking all about homeschooling tonight. You can ask all of your questions. I'm glad that you're here. I know it's a sad day for our country. Really, really hard day. How many of you shed some tears today? I certainly did. And I prayed for our kids in our country, for our kids in the schools. Hi, everybody on YouTube. Welcome. This is my first time on YouTube, so that's kind of interesting. Anyway, you guys, please ask me your questions. Tell me who you are, how many kids you have. Are you a homeschooler? Are you considering homeschooling? Did the events of today kind of put you over the edge? Like, is homeschooling something that you've been thinking about? And then I've gotten a lot of instant messages today from parents that are in that boat. Like, you know, I was kind of on the edge and now I'm just done. Hi, Melissa. 2 kids, 10 and 6. Oh, those are fun ages to homeschool. Do you homeschool, Melissa? Hello, Holistic Mama. 3, homeschooling 2 years. Awesome. What kind of homeschooler are you? What curriculum do you use? I'd love to know. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad you're here. I'm Christy-Faith. I'm here to answer all of your homeschooling questions. Even trolls are welcome as long as they don't attack me personally. As long as you're willing to talk about ideas, I welcome you here as well. Yes.
Melissa Lynn says, I wish I had it in me to homeschool. I don't feel capable.
Okay, Melissa, you say you wish you had it in me to homeschool and I don't feel capable. What I can tell you from my heart, and moms, double tap if this was you as well, you are more than capable. You just don't know enough about our world and our culture yet. It is not as hard as you think it is. I work full time. I homeschool 4 children, and I'm terrible at math, but I outsource math. So double tap, moms, if you've been in that situation where you felt like you didn't have it in you, you couldn't do it. Maybe you didn't feel like your parenting was there, like your kids would drive you up the wall, or maybe you feel like you're not educated enough, that you don't feel smart enough. Let me assure you that there is no obstacle that I have come across in any mom, even moms that didn't even graduate high school. There are moms who have not graduated high school who sent their homeschool kids to Ivy League schools. Why? Our resources. And there is nothing more powerful than a mom who loves her children and will go to the ends of the earth to give that child a customized education and a loving home environment. So be encouraged by that where you fall short, and we all fall short. Double tap, mamas who are currently homeschooling. If there are complete areas that you just suck at when it comes to academics, for me, it's math, right? I just figured out, I found a curriculum. I found a resource for my family that could teach it for me, and I can come alongside that teacher. Outsourcing is our superpower. And let me tell you, homeschool curriculum companies know this. They know that moms need support, and so they literally build their curriculum with that in mind. It's such a cool culture. So any moms on here who feel like, I can't do that, I don't know enough, that's what our resources are so phenomenal. But let me encourage you with another thing, because once you get into our world and you understand our world, you realize, oh, that was kind of a silly fear. But I want to tell you something else about homeschooling that people that don't homeschool yet don't realize. And mamas, I know that you can testify to this. I am shocked on a daily basis, and I am overwhelmed with the blessing and the connectedness, the togetherness, and the harmony that our family has, that I can customize my kids' childhoods to be happy. Do I shelter my kids? Heck no, I don't shelter my kids. I don't hide anything from them. But what I do is I keep them safe, and we talk about the difficult things. So in that sense, something that so many moms tell me over and over and over again is like, they homeschooled for this reason. Maybe their kid was ADHD, or school safety is a big thing. social environment is the number one, toxic social environment is the number one reason in our country why parents choose to homeschool. But the benefits are like, you can't even explain how cool it is to, you're not running a rat race anymore. You're not frantically trying to get your kids out the door to go to school. You're together. Your memories are together. Your kids don't have all completely separate friends that you have to manage. It's just so cool. All while our kids are totally socialized. They have amazing friends, and we have great memories together. So anyway, just be encouraged. I just wanted to open with that word. And Scott says there's questions coming in.
So many great
questions.
questions.
So many great questions. Awesome.
So Southern
I'm gonna take a sip while he's and can you guys tell me if you hear Scott? Because I try to have him talk loud so that you hear his questions.
Southern Sweet. Just withdrew my kids today on the last day of school to start the homeschool journey. My kids are so excited to start this journey and relieved.
Yay! Are they here? Are they watching me right now? I want to say something to them. Oh, good. I'm so fancy. How's your little nugget of love? How's your little nugget? I need to check Instagram to see pictures. Oh, good. You guys do hear Scott. I'm so happy.
Southern Sweet getting started.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Are your kids here and can they hear me?
No,
and
they're in bed.
Okay, they're in bed, which is totally fine. But I'm so excited for you. You guys double tap, give this mama some virtual hugs. This is a brave thing that you did today, withdrawing your kids. And it's a huge responsibility to take your kids' education on your shoulders. And let me tell you, you do not have to do it alone. Whether it's virtually with us, the homeschool community on TikTok, or any other community, and hopefully you'll find a lot like an in-person community too, where you can have your kids can find rich, wonderful friendships. It's going to be such an amazing decision, and you do not have to do it alone. Don't ever hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Okay. Yeah, you guys grab, if you're new here and you're on here because of the events that happened in our country that are absolutely devastating, and you're like, wait a minute, what is homeschooling? I thought it's just a bunch of weird kids. Okay, grab that free guide. It's 21 pages. It is not your normal free guide that influencers give out. It's literally a part of a bigger, it's a great guide. It will kind of give you the brief lay of the land of what homeschooling is. If you are good to go and you are ready to homeschool, listen, I just want to say there are some things there are pitfalls that are pretty common that can be very frustrating in the beginning. That is why I made the course up here. It is still 30% off for, I think, just a couple more weeks before it has its launch. The people who've already bought the course have received it. They're in the first phase. We're still holding off on our major launch and so we still have the course at 30% off for you. But if you were to buy the course tonight, you would get it tomorrow.
It's not 30% off, it's 20.
Oh, it's 20% off? My thing says 30. Can we give them 30% off? I say 30 here. Can we do that for them?
I can make it cute. I will try.
Oh, you will try?
I will try. People want it.
Okay. That was a mistake. So I guess the countdown kind of already started. So it's now technically, is it 20% off on the website? Oh no. Yeah. Okay. So we'll figure out a way to get you the 30% off because it's right above my head. And for you guys tonight, for sure. And if you don't get that, just email us and then we'll make sure that you get that. Okay. All right. Let's go to questions. So that was my miscommunication.
Only Mariah.
Take a sip.
The only Mariahs. I caught you live. You're such an encouragement to this second generation homeschool mom.
You are so sweet. Thank you so much. So you were homeschooled? That's phenomenal. Awesome. Hey guys, and can you see my face? Do I have a line across my face? Is my lens dirty? Scott, do you see a line? On my camera, I see a massive.
Maybe it's the lighting.
Okay. Hold on, you guys. It's not the lighting. No, it looks like I'm going to do this real quick, you guys, and just see. Did that work? Oh, you guys, I think my camera was dirty. Of course. I was at a children's museum all day today. It was a blast.
Um,
Yeah, it was my camera that was, of course. Who has a dirty camera all the time? Sorry, guys.
Ventura Dura, any tips on the best way to stay organized when homeschooling third grade?
Okay, how do you feel disorganized? Do you feel disorganized with your record keeping? I don't even know if you have to keep records in your state. Not all states require records. Are you talking about the books kind of all over the place? Please tell me how you feel disorganized and I will tell you what to do. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, spirit.
Okay, good, Amanda. Thank you. No lions. It was my camera was dirty. It was literally dirt on my camera.
Mama Sam XOXO. I have ADHD and teach my ADHD child.
Yes.
It's so hard.
Yes. So if you are neurodivergent yourself and have a neurodivergent kid, one, I think you're a great fit to homeschool your kid because you get it. You understand it. But yeah, there are challenges and you just really have to make sure, I don't know what kind of curriculum that you're using, but you really have to, in my opinion, make sure that you have a curriculum that has a structure that you don't have to build yourself. I find that really helpful so that you can kind of follow that. And there's curricula out there that kind of set schedules for you rather than just kind of being all over the place. And let me know your concerns on what is challenging about that for you, because of course, we all know that ADHD comes out in all different ways. There's different types, like inattentive type and that type, that stuff. So yeah, you can follow up with something else. Yeah, Mama, you plan to homeschool through summer. So a lot of homeschool moms, please hear this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're on here. One of our tricks of the trade is, especially if you are a working mom, is to homeschool year round. It's actually, honestly, when you're talking pedagogy, which is a fancy word, but don't be all intimidated by that word. It's just better not to have a massive break. Because when I taught in the classroom, what did I do all of September? I retaught what the kids learned last year. So if you just continue homeschooling year round, you just keep moving forward. It's a great way to do it. The other thing is like we have where I live in Colorado, July is like a nightmare hot and a part of August. And I have a motto that I say when it's 100 degrees out, I say it's pool or it's school because it's unbearable to not be wet and be outside. And so it's just and it's great for working parents. It's just great for kids all around. So yes, homeschooling year round is a trick of the trade. You never feel behind. In fact, I always exceed the amount of homeschool days that is required in my state. I always exceed them. I actually stopped keeping track after a couple years because I'm like, don't get me wrong. I keep track. I follow all the laws, but I used to every single day. Keep in mind, I was in the system. I was one of those teachers that had to check the box on every single state standard. And so in the beginning, I was like that. I scheduled every day. I even felt like I had to justify what I did every day. And then I realized, oh no, I had to break that mindset. Like today we were at the Children's Museum all day. That is school, you guys. That is school. So okay, do you mean keep teaching them the same grade for the summer once they're done with that grade? No. If they're done with the grade, you move on to the next grade. Yeah, there's nothing holding your kid back. So my kids and this is very common in the homeschool culture. Kid, like a fifth grader, for example, could be doing seventh grade literature. They could be doing a fifth grader could be doing fourth grade math, especially if they're in a pretty difficult, strenuous curriculum. We don't really go by grade levels, grade levels are, do you want me to get into grade levels? I mean, it's utilitarian. Our system did the grade levels to separate and categorize children and to be able to have the benchmarks. It's not necessarily like, okay, let me give you an example. Why all of a sudden when a kid turns 5, is there like benchmarks where times they have to have stuff done? Because before they're 5, kids learn to talk at all different ages. Kids learn to walk at all different ages. Why does that get thrown out the door when it comes to a kid learning to read? Why can't a kid learn to read when they're ready? If they were allowed to walk when they were ready? And yeah, there comes a time, even with learning to walk, that, okay, maybe something's up here. You know, maybe we need to go see somebody. But it's a wide range. You know, one of my children walked at 7 months. My latest walker, I did have early walkers in general, but my latest walker was at 13 months. But I have friends who their kids didn't walk till 18 months, you know, later, and they're totally fine, right? So we need to thank you. I'm so fancy. And by the way, I'm so fancy. She just left the school system. I hope you don't mind me saying, but she was a special ed teacher. So she gets it. She's my new friend. I met her right here on TikTok. Yes.
Okay. Danielle Camp, could you please send me information on your packet, please? I don't ever want to send my daughter to school.
You don't have to ever send your daughter to school. So the free guide is right in my bio. It's on every bio, on every social media page that I have. But on the TikTok, it's right in my link tree, and it says free guide, and you get it right away.
Okay.
Yep, and on that link tree is also the link to the course. It is a 3-hour course, and it will explain to you what the whole homeschool world is, I will tell you how you fit in it. And we are able to tell you, based on our diagnostic test that we give, what curriculum to buy, which is the number one question that I get. Christy, what curriculum do I buy? And there are thousands of curricula options out there. It gets extremely overwhelming. And so that's why I am here, because I need to take that away. I need to take that totally overwhelming aspect of beginning homeschooling. I need to take that away for you guys. So that's why I did that. Yes.
Just, you know, we were able to get that course adjusted.
Oh, yay!
It's like,
so it is 30.
It is 30.
Yay!
It's not going to be that though forever. We can't do that first. So it's
okay. You guys.
Expire at midnight.
Okay, so Scott said. Okay, so here's the funny story. I did this today at my sister's house. I made this thing above my head, and I was like, "Oh, the course is still 30% off." And then Scott said, "No, they made it 20. The people made it 20% off because we're part of the countdown." But he said that he was able to go in the website and adjust it on the back end, so you still get the 30% off until midnight. So, yay.
Cool.
Okay, next question.
The Kymox. I'm bad at math, and I fear I'll ruin my kids in this area. Any advice?
Outsource it. Don't teach math. I don't. You don't have to teach math. You have the best curriculum, the best teachers on the planet at your fingertips. Outsourcing is our superpower. I don't teach math, and I don't teach foreign language, but I love teaching diagramming sentences, and I love teaching how to write, and I love teaching my little babies how to read. So you outsource it, girl. You do it. And then the other thing is, can I answer Madre shenanigans, babe? Do you see that? How do I make sure they're on track if I haven't been in school in years?
Yes, but Classy Cajun just said, I'm 50% complete with the course, and it's awesome.
Classy Cajun! Oh, I want to cry. Thank you. I worked so hard on that, you guys. Thank you. Are you through lesson 5 yet? I'm so curious. Lesson 5 is so cool because it explains the 6 homeschooling styles. I'm curious if you're on lesson 5 yet. Anyway, I'm so glad you're loving the course. That's so exciting. Okay, the question from Madre is, how do I make sure my kids are on track if I have not been in school in years? You don't write your own curriculum. Well, I mean, you can, but I wouldn't. I mean, I was a teacher and can write my own curriculum, but that's a nightmare. You buy curriculum and you follow the curriculum. Okay, now I want to talk about that word that you mean, on track. So are you referring to on track with what the public schools are doing? Are you referring to on track with my kid is progressing and happy and challenged every day? Or do you consider that on track? Are you hoping to matriculate your child back into the schools, so you want to keep them, which is fine, by the way, so you want to keep them on that track? So I need that clarified, what you mean by on track. And also, if you're referring to being on track like the standards of the public school, I just want to remind you how badly they're failing. Our high school seniors are not reading at proficient levels. It's appalling. In fact, let me get you some statistics. So by the way, when academically speaking, from being in both worlds, what I can tell you is the standards for the public schools are so low that just by homeschooling and basically breathing, you're doing better. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Just by reading a book out loud to your kid and discussing it and having critical thought discussions, like, I'm serious. Okay, do you guys want to hear some statistics? Okay, I need to tell you something. When I do posts on statistics, you guys, when I do TikToks, this is the, I'm actually going to read you a part from my Case for Homeschooling course that I just filmed. Okay. Oh, I can go into stats on school safety tonight if you want me to. So let's see, where's my reading section? I go into the history of public schooling. I go into the social environment. We go into the academic failures. Here we go. Yes. So in terms of homeschoolers, you know that we score way better across the board. 78% of the studies show that homeschoolers perform better. We do better on the SAT. More homeschoolers graduate college than non-homeschoolers. And this is interesting. Even though homeschoolers are only 3% of the population, they actually make up 25% of the Scripps Spelling Bee, 10% of the National Geographic Bee, and 66% of the USA Math Olympiad. So, okay, yes, let's go on to another question. That was good for
Wendy
statistics.
Hazard.
Hi, Wendy.
She said, outsource to who? When you're talking about outsourcing,
Yeah.
and how many hours a week do you recommend?
Okay, so what I mean by outsourcing, there's a couple ways to outsource. One, okay, get some notes, you guys, or like get your phones out to write. I'm going to talk about 3 ways to outsource your homeschooling. Okay, I'm not talking about, you can do that. I'm not talking about like hiring a teacher and creating a pod. You can do that. That's completely outsourcing the entire homeschooling. Okay, you can do that. What I'm referring to is when a mom feels insecure in a particular area, like for me, it's math, I outsource it. So there's 3 ways. One, you can buy a curriculum that is basically scripted, where you literally can't mess up because you as the mom, you're reading the script. I did this when I first taught my kids to read, okay? The second way you can outsource is you can buy, often when you buy curriculum, along with the curriculum comes video lessons that are pre-recorded. So like you're on lesson 5 and you watch lesson 5. You watch an expert teacher who's pre-recorded on a video teach lesson 5. And then your kid does the stuff. And then you as the mom can watch with them or not. It really depends, okay? And then the third way to outsource is to actually enroll your child in a class in an online homeschool academy. So my oldest loves live classes. He has friends all over the country, you guys. It's kind of cool. I feel like wherever we travel, it's like someone to visit who he's been in class with for 2 years now, the same kids. And it's a live class this particular one is a foreign language class. To give you an idea of what that looks like, this class is 3 hours a week, and it's a 1 hour class on Tuesday. I've really outsourced it, you guys, because he's so excited to go that I don't even have to remind him, babe, his class is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, right? Yeah.
Close enough. It's
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. I honestly don't even ask my son. He loves it. He like gets his snack. All of his buddies, they all have a snack and a drink in there. And the teacher is live and she is teaching the class with the curriculum. My son scans and uploads all of his own homework, and I check the grade every once in a while. So I will not do that like for all of the classes, but I will do that in the areas where I feel weaker in. And the class is not expensive. I believe that class with that academy, and this is about the price range, I think it's like $300 a year. But for the hours of instruction, I actually think it's a steal. And the fact that it's like taken care of with like probably the best Latin teacher on the planet. She's amazing. So that's what I mean. Does that answer your question? I hope so. Outsourcing is our superpower. Okay, questions. Let's keep going, you guys.
Shaymara, seriously thinking about homeschooling. Bullying my second grader went through was heartbreaking.
Oh, bullying is awful, you guys, and it is trauma. What I need you to know right now is that bullying is trauma. That, people say, oh, your kid needs to be in school so they're toughened up. Trauma is not a recipe to make a happy, whole adult. So I am so sorry that your second grader has been bullied. And I think it's absolutely great that you're considering homeschooling and you're trying to figure out if it's a fit for you. Yes, trauma is real. Oh yeah, farm mom, my kids bully each other. Well, you got to get on that. You got to get on that. I know you're kidding. Okay, let me take a sip real quick of my coffee. I had a funny comment on a video this week, you guys, where someone said, and I'll get back to homeschooling questions. Hold on, let me take a sip. I don't know if you guys know this, but in my videos, I'm holding a coffee cup a lot. And someone said on a video, they were just being mean, and they're like, that cup is a total prop. And I'm thinking to myself, really? Like, I literally drink decaf all day and all night. I'm literally never not holding a coffee cup. That's why they're always in my videos. But what's so funny is it did kind of look like a prop because my coffee was to here and it was lukewarm. Because it takes a while to film a video. So I'm drinking between takes and it's almost gone. So towards the end, I am kind of moving the cup around, but it was because it was not hot anymore. And it was like to there. But anyway, it's just so funny how people think like TikTok's not fake, people. We're real. Like I actually drink coffee. Okay. Anyway, back to homeschooling, you guys. I'm so glad you're here. Let's ask questions.
Jewel 6252.
Hi, Jewel.
What do single working parents do? I'm so lost.
Okay, you guys. So many single working moms are able to homeschool. Some cannot. So it really depends on do you work, what type of work, what age your children are. I know moms who have had to put themselves on a 2-year plan or a 1-year plan to position themselves to be able to homeschool. Our family, we actually moved states. We left California to be able to afford me not working anymore. I work now because of my company, but when I was having all my babies, I did not work. And so anyway, there are lots of things that you can do as a single mom to be able to homeschool. But the number one thing I want to tell you to encourage you is that homeschooling does not take 7 hours a day. Ask any teacher who has been in the classroom, and they will tell you everything can pretty much be done in 2 hours a day. The rest is just red tape and class discipline. And I can attest to that myself because I was a teacher and I was in the classroom. So when you keep that in mind, you realize, oh, if my kindergartner only has an hour and a half of school a day, which by the way, it really shouldn't be more than that. I'm just giving you an example of how much time on average a kindergartner should take doing homeschool. An hour and a half-ish, give or take. Well, you can do that before work. You can do that at lunch. You can do that after work. You can do that on every Saturday morning. Maybe you can do it twice on a Saturday. You can utilize holidays and weekends. And then of course you do it year round. That is I would say the silver bullet for working moms is we homeschool year round, because there are days when something's busy with work and we can't get school done and we don't have to worry about our kids being behind. So be encouraged. And I don't know your particular situation, because every situation is different with working parents.
She asked, but what would my kid do while I'm working for 8 hours?
Yeah, well, I don't know how old your child is. So moms who are really determined to homeschool that have little kids, they arrange childcare. Some moms trade households. So like you have a friend who also homeschools and you take all of her kids on Tuesdays, and maybe you do art projects, and then she takes all of your kids on Thursdays for the whole day, and then she's doing something else like science. So you can trade off. The other amazing thing that you can do is play dates. You can have set weekly play dates with friends that are also homeschoolers. Don't forget, once you are in the homeschooling world, you have all of these preteen girls who want to make a little bit of extra money babysitting too. And they're done by 12 or 1 with their school, even when they're 14. Like homeschooling does not take 7 hours a day. And so you can have, like, once a week, you can have a mommy's helper come over. Also, in many states, I'm gonna like rattle off so many options right now. So just like get ready, okay? Because there's so many options for you. In my state, for example, we have charter schools that have homeschool days where it's a drop-off program. One in mind in particular is every Wednesday in my area. It is free. It is public school. It's a charter school with a particular bent. And then you drop your kid off and they're there all day, 1 day a week. There is a private school near me. Of course, that's not free like the charter school. That appeals to me more because I don't really like public schooling. But if you need something free, often that's available through the charter schools. That particular private school offers a 2-day-a-week program for homeschoolers and a 3-day-a-week program for homeschoolers, where it's technically a drop-off. It's kind of like part-time homeschooling, but all those kids are doing the same thing. So you can have a pod. You can be part of a cottage school. You definitely should be part of a co-op. So there's all those things that you can kind of arrange. And then if family lives near you, ask your mother or your mother-in-law or your sister or whatever to like, hey, could you watch my kid one morning every week or something like that? Okay. So and I don't know your particular situation, but that's how working moms do it. I'm just explaining all the ways. And a lot of working moms don't have family support, but they still figure out a way. If you are a working mom and if you are single and you are on here right now, please chime in on what you do to make it work. Okay, yes.
A couple shout outs here. Brianna Cruz.
Hi,
yes,
Brianna.
This homeschooling has brought my family closer.
Yes.
Liberty Bell, 17. We just finished our first year of homeschooling. Both my kids improved in all subjects.
Oh,
yay.
Yay. That's fantastic to hear.
And
every day, you guys, every day, moms who pull their kids out, their kids thrive. They thrive because you're able to customize their education. And like, I got such an annoying comment today, like basically like, great, just shelter your kid. We're not sheltering our kids, people. Like, can we just get over that? We're not sheltering our kids. We're providing something better. Okay.
Leslie asks, I'm overwhelmed with curriculum.
Yes, curriculum is overwhelming. So are you a homeschooler now? And you've been kissing frogs? So, okay, so we created the heart diagnostic, which you're going to be able to buy by itself, or you can buy it with the course that up here. And what it is it's a big diagnostic test. No one else in the homeschool world is doing this. And this is what our homeschool world needs. This is what you need, mamas. It is a test that analyzes your personality and the way you like to run your lifestyle. Okay, then it goes in and it tests you on your homeschooling and educational philosophy, what you value the most. Then it goes in and it analyzes your kids' learning styles. And then it puts all that together in an algorithm and it spits out curriculum options that are a fit for you. So it narrows it down for you. No one else is doing this in the homeschooling world. And it's really necessary because you could buy, like, say you go out and buy a Becca, right? Which is considered a traditional schooling at home, basically like doing public school at home, which is a great option if that's your philosophy. But you wanted a homeschool because you wanted to be able to go outside and be on field trips and catch frogs. Well, a Becca's not a fit for you. If you know what I'm saying? So I hate it when moms, I don't want to say I hate it. It breaks my heart when moms quit homeschooling when they tried a curriculum that just literally was not a fit for their personality at all. Because you can change. Yes.
Leslie follows up with great thank you.
Yes.
Is that in your bio? And Jules says, what's the website for that? And Becky says, where can I find that diagnostic test?
Okay. So what's your answer, babe?
Right now, if you buy the course, we're actually including.
Oh, okay. If you buy the course, it is included in the course right now. And then will it be available to buy by itself What, like 3 weeks?
Something
Like that, in 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
So, and by the way, if that's not like, if something, email us, you guys, like email and say, hey, I heard you say this on your live, you know, and then we'll like take care of it, like boom, for you. Okay.
Yeah. Lacey Lynch says, how long do you suggest deschooling before starting a curriculum schooling at home?
Okay, so we go into deschooling in my course. It is a very important part. So this is interesting. If you're pulling your kid now, well, deschooling is what you'll do during the summer. It's usually not a day. It's usually not a week. It's usually a couple months. And in my course, we tell you what to do to reset your family, because that is what really deschooling is. So it's really not helpful if you were to pull your kid out on a Friday and try to homeschool with a full-on curriculum that you spent thousands of dollars on Monday. You will, that is not, it's a recipe for disaster. You need to reconnect with your family. You need to redefine your role as a mother. Your role is changing. Let's just accept that. Your role changes when you are also becoming the teacher. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. And so we go through that in the course. I believe that's lesson 6 on what exactly to do during that phase. We even give you books to read to your kids. They're like amazing binge-worthy books. We give you a list so that you guys can like every day just sit down and just read amazing literature and talk about it. Like that's part of what you would do in the deschooling. We give you parenting book recommendations to kind of learn how to set boundaries, that kind of thing. Okay, next question.
Crispy Curfy?
Yes.
What is your favorite school lesson you've taught to your kids?
Oh, my favorite. I love diagramming sentences. I'm such a nerd. But on a regular basis, I love diagramming sentences. And you know what's interesting? Because I love it, they love it. That energy is, you know, but I am a trained historian by education. And I love, my favorite thing to do is to read living history books to my kids and make history come alive and tell the story and fit it in the context of what we can learn from it. So, and we do our history as a family. We do not do history as a grade leveled subject. We combine all of the family together and do history together. History does not need to be by grade level. And it's so rich that way. It's so fun. I don't care for history textbooks. Yes. Next question.
Kendra, I hate making usernames. What age do I need to start homeschooling? My 3-year-old keeps asking me to teach him to read.
Okay, well, she asks, what age do I start homeschooling? And she has a 3-year-old who keeps asking to learn to read. Well, I love that your 3-year-old is hungry to learn to read. You can absolutely start with letter sounds and phonics. Whatever you do, write this down, people, and don't forget. Whatever you do, you need to use an Orton-Gillingham approach to teaching reading. We taught reading remediation for years at our center. The research backs me up. Just Google it. Thank me later. Write this down. Orton-Gillingham. Okay, so back to when you start. The question was, when do you start homeschooling at all? Okay, so here's the deal. Each state has a minimum age where you must start homeschooling and register your child. Maybe not every state, most states. In my state, I have to register my children by 7 years old as homeschooling. But I started homeschooling when they were 3. So that's just legally when I had to register them. We did full school years when they turned 3. I did 2 years of preschool, kindergarten, first grade. Okay. So you can absolutely start doing preschool stuff with your 3-year-old. Do not start heavy academics with your 3-year-old, though. They've done studies on that, and that backfires. It needs to be whatever it is. It needs to be play-based, and absolutely introduce the phonics sounds to an early phonemic awareness to your 3-year-old, and counting and all that math stuff. Definitely do that. Yeah. Okay.
Great. Even me, My son has a.
My heathen me, are you a heathen? That's funny. That's a funny username. I'm going to take a sip while he's talking.
My son has an IEP, and it's so hard to keep him on track.
Yes.
He is behind, and I'm so scared it's my fault.
He's on an IEP, so he's in public school, right? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah.
Okay. While we're waiting for her, Lauren Lincoln asked, do you have any Rocky Mountain free read recommendations? We are visiting this summer.
Breck, right?
She wants reading, like any reading.
Oh, reading, yeah. Little Britches. You got to get Little Britches for sure. Yeah. Okay, I want to go back to, did that mom answer?
No, the heathen? No.
Yeah, I know the child has an IEP, but I'm not sure if the child is in school with that IEP.
Heathen me. Yeah, she's not here right now.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you because I do want to answer your question. And I can answer your question. I had a follow-up. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Oh, she said I pulled him out ASAP.
Okay.
So I think maybe she got the IEP, maybe got the IEP and pulled him.
You got the IEP and you pulled him and he's behind. Okay. So I have read thousands of IEPs. I want you to look at that IEP and look in the back and see the classroom recommendations, and you will be encouraged because you will be able to look at that list and say, oh, extra time on tests. All right. Oh, quiet work environment. No problem. All sorts of things on IEPs. It's when you homeschool, it either completely eliminates that accommodation altogether, or you're easily able to do that accommodation at home. The one exception is therapies, speech therapy, occupational therapy, those types of things. Of course, you're not a therapist, so you can't do. But I will say often those therapies that are offered in the public schools are not high quality. It's not the therapist's problem. It's because they're often trying to do speech therapy in groups. Like what? This kid has a lisp, this kid has something else, and they're in a group together doing speech therapy? Like, it makes no sense to me.
She says it took 6 months to fight the school system and 4 doctors stated nothing was wrong.
Oh.
But a learning delay.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, of course they don't want to pay for it, because when you do an IEP, the district is now legally obligated. So you're a situation where maybe we should meet for a consultation and I can go through that IEP and tell you how to homeschool based on that IEP and what curriculum to use. That's always an option that you and I can do together. Yeah. Okay.
Sol Taluna.
Hello, Sol Taluna.
How do we create legit transcripts acceptable by colleges and universities?
I love that question. How do you make, and this is a great question for everybody here, if you don't know the answer, how do you make legit transcripts so your kid can go to college when they're homeschooled? Another version of this question I get a lot is, doesn't your homeschool have to be accredited? Your kid can't get into college. So here, first, I want to say that there is no college in our country that requires an accredited high school diploma. Not a single one. In fact, follow me here. In fact, colleges are now recruiting homeschoolers because our success rates of completion are higher. Keep in mind, colleges are businesses. They want the students there for 4 years and they want them to complete their degrees. Homeschoolers have a higher percentage of completing college than non-homeschoolers. They are recruiting homeschoolers. So the question is, how do you make the transcript? Well, I'm going to tell you the advice that I used to give parents in my past career that weren't homeschooling parents. You work backwards. You kind of have an idea of where your kids' colleges that you would consider. Maybe have a list of 10, try to narrow it down to maybe 6. And you work backwards. You make sure you look at the requirements for those colleges. And then you make sure that the high school classes that you are offering your child, in any way you want to offer them, but you make sure that you're completing those credits. And then, like, for example, hslda.org, they have templates for making your own transcripts. That's probably the least expensive way to do it. You can also, there's tons of consultants that you can hire that will guide you through and even make your transcript for you. That is not necessary, but sometimes with your first child, that's just a nice way to do it so that you realize this is a lot easier than it sounds. It's really not hard at all. You make your own. The answer is you make your own, and you just want to be smart about it. Just like every parent in America, you should kind of have an idea of the colleges that you want your child wants to go to, and make sure, like if it's a liberal arts college, you're going to need more foreign language in high school. If it's a science-y college or math college, they're going to need more math and science, and not maybe 3 years of foreign language, maybe only 2. So you got to work backwards. I hope I'm clear on that. Was I, babe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Irene Wolf, going to do first year of homeschool starting in September. I'm so nervous.
Don't be nervous. Grab my course. It's 30% off. Don't be nervous at all. You're going to do great. You're just going to find a really great curriculum. I strongly recommend that you really figure out your homeschooling style so that you can find a curriculum that works for you. And that's what we do in my course. Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
Diana said the same thing. Same as Irene.
Yeah, starting in the fall.
Yeah.
So exciting. I'm excited for you guys. Double tap.
Love that.
How to start with pre-K. You just preschool. You just do it. There's all sorts of curricula out there that are homeschooling curricula for preschool, and you can kind of just follow it or do your own thing. Yes. Is there someone's barbecuing?
Yeah, I smell it.
It smells really good.
Michelle, Patriot Soul.
Hi, Michelle.
I'm thinking about doing year-round school. How long?
Do it.
How long for breaks every so often? What's your thought?
Okay, I do year-round. I've done a couple things. I have done 6 weeks on, 1 week off, 6 weeks on, 1 week off. I enjoyed that because there's things like my pantry needs to be, okay, so there's, how I have to manage my house, right? So what's kind of nice about doing a chunk on and a chunk off, like 6 weeks on or maybe 5 weeks on and 1 week off when you're doing schooling year round, is that those like household projects or things that you want to do, or maybe you want to make your kids Halloween costumes or something, you would have that 1 week off where oh, okay, during that week off of schooling, I'm going to be able to organize my pantry, or I'm going to be able to clean out the cabinets in my kitchen, or I'm going to be able to wash all the linens in my house, that type of a thing. So it's a great option to do school year round and then have those breaks. I prefer schooling that way. I school year round. And I just like knowing, okay, I can deal with my messy pantry for another 3 weeks because I know I'm going to get to it, rather than just this perpetual, like, oh, I'm not going to have a break till the summer. Like, that's just too far for me. So great question there.
Rebecca, George, recommendations for autistic children. I have a child with Asperger's and we homeschool this year.
Yes. So when children have special needs, particularly with autism, I like to do a consultation because I really need to know the ins and outs. Is the child verbal or what? And you can absolutely homeschool. Another route that you can go is HSLDA has a special needs, like they have consultants that you can call and ask their advice too. I do that as well. And what I would do with you is I would sit down and evaluate with you what you did this year, what you liked, what you didn't like, how your child thrived, didn't thrive. And then we would just kind of make tweaks, maybe change curricula and that type of a thing to find the right fit.
Very high functioning, she said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then you could probably do any curriculum, right? Yeah. So what did she say she was struggling with?
I think she said more looking for recommendations on how to teach.
Oh, how to teach. Okay. So you might benefit from curricula that has more scripts to it. That's something that you might want to consider. And also, I don't know how old your child is, but you might want to buy curriculum where he or she can read it and kind of do a lesson on their own.
She said Asperger's math.
Okay. Yeah. And then, of course, you can always outsource a class in an area that you feel insecure in. So I outsource foreign language in my house. I We use an online live academy, and it's a live class for foreign language. So I don't have to teach it at all. So that's kind of cool. It's all over Zoom. It's on Zoom. Okay.
Soul Tuna says, or Soul to Luna, if you need help finding a good curriculum, she says you have to shop. There are so many options to try.
Okay. You guys, this is one of the reasons why I even got on this app. Okay. When here I was, my career was in teaching when I started homeschooling, and I started looking at curriculum, and I was so completely overwhelmed. Like, oh, that curriculum looks beautiful. That's a Charlotte Mason curriculum. Oh, that curriculum looks beautiful. That's traditional schooling at home curriculum. Oh, what about this one? Oh, that's classical. I was so overwhelmed. And I feel like no one yet in our sphere has done what I decided needed to happen. And that is, we created the heart diagnostic. And what it does is it analyzes you as the mom, and it analyzes your personality and the way your household is ran. It helps you determine your homeschooling style. Are you Charlotte Mason? Are you classical? Are you an unschooler? What are you exactly? And then it analyzes your kids' learning styles. So then we compile all of that, because we know that all the curriculum out there, and then we give you a list of curricula that are good options for you to look into. So rather than looking at 4,000 options, you're looking at 8. It's pretty amazing what I asked the team to do. Yeah, it's taken a lot of people to build this. So it is part of this course right now. And then in 3 weeks, you'll be able to buy it by itself. Okay, next question.
Two things.
Everything's in my bio, you guys. It's in my link tree. Okay.
Silly Mama 03. Love your glasses.
Are you still on the fence, babe, with my glasses?
Yeah.
My husband loves me and he thinks I'm beautiful, but change is hard. These are new. My glasses are new.
Marissa.
I don't know. They're a little big. They're a little big.
Marissa asks.
But can I just say one more thing about the glasses? I love that I can, when I put them on my head, which I know you're not supposed to do, it doesn't catch in my hair. That's what I wanted in a pair of glasses. And that's what these are. They don't have those thingies there that catch your hair.
Obsessed, you rock them, says somebody.
Oh, thank you. See, babe, you're wrong. No, he thinks my husband.
I defer.
He just doesn't.
I defer.
No.
I defer and support. Okay,
Thanks, babe.
so Marissa, I have one 10-year-old child at home that I'm thinking of homeschooling.
Great. 10-year-olds are so fun to homeschool.
Can that be fun, or is it boring?
Oh, it's so fun. Oh, it's a blast. You know why 10-year-olds are fun? They're just starting to be able to really think critically. They're just starting to be able to learn how to write like more than 4 sentences, get ideas. That age is great. Honestly, it's fantastic. I know. I hate it when glasses get in my hair too. Oh, thank you, you guys. Okay. Scott just left. Where'd you go? Oh, is it not a barbecue? Is it a fire?
Smoky.
So what I thought was a barbecue, because we have the window open, it's starting to get stronger and stronger, and there might be a wildfire. We live in Colorado. Yeah.
I'm Lila. Any suggestion for books for 7th graders?
Books for 7th grade. Oh, go to yes. And go to I have a playlist on my page that's called Book Recs, and go there.
Yeah. Marissa just follows up. Thanks for the advice. I only have one child at home, and I'm afraid he'll get bored.
Oh, yeah. So my sister has an only 2. Well, you only have one child at home. You probably have more kids. My sister has an only. Yeah, you just build community, and you'll be fine. A lot of moms that only have one at home, or of singletons, they are really successful and find homeschooling incredibly rich. Yeah.
I came across your line, and I'm on the fence. My daughter's doing online school.
Okay. So, and how's the online school going? I would love to know that. So you can definitely it's not that online schooling is bad, okay? Because at least your child is outside of the school environment. That can be pretty toxic. Um, but there are homeschooling can be so cool. It can be so fun and wonderful. So I would love for you to explore some other things, some other ways to do it. Okay.
Any tips on teaching my two for homeschooling? They both have ADHD.
Yes. Yeah. It's homeschooling is great for kids who have ADHD because they don't have to sit at a desk all day. When they need to get up and move, they can. Even when you're reading to them, they can move around. They can't do that in school. So those simple things, what's interesting, those simple things that they need, they just have the freedom to do at home. And you can take, and depending on what your kids need, so kids with ADHD often need frequent breaks. They need to be able to get up and move around. Usually there is a certain time of day that is much better for them than other times of the day. That's when you can do your schooling. Or better yet, that's when you do the subject that's the hardest for them. You do it when they're at their mental peak. You don't have the freedom to do that in school. Yeah, there's lots of things you can do. Yes.
Okay, so Soul to Luna asks again, how not to fear legal action by the state, family, and friend critics?
Okay, legal action. You homeschool legally. First off, you follow your state laws. Every state, so homeschooling is legal in all 50 states, and every state has particular laws that govern homeschoolers. Some states require a certain number of homeschool days per year. In addition, they often require mandatory subjects, like you must teach math, history, literature, right? Some states are very low regulation and you don't even have to register your children. So it really depends on your state. You never have to fear legal action. If you begin homeschooling, you really need to join HSLDA. I do not work for them. I do not represent them, but I am a member because I don't want any trouble legally. And what HSLDA is they're basically a group of lawyers that fight to keep homeschooling rights, and which is a constitutional right, by the way, of ours. And so, for example, if someone knocks on your door, and you're a member of HSLDA, you do not open your door, you call them. A lawyer is literally on the other line, or a paralegal or someone trained, and they tell you exactly what to do and say. You say, hold on, I'm contacting my lawyer. And then they tell you what to do and say. They will often, so there was recently home visits in Kentucky that were illegal, and HSLDA got on it, and they got on it fast, and they could have gotten in really big trouble if they didn't step down. So there's that. Yes. And then the other thing is that, okay, homeschooling legally, I just filmed a course that's called A Case for Homeschooling that has a lot of things. I'm transitioning to your family, critique from friends and family. That was your second concern, right? We have a guide that is coming out very, very soon. Can they pre-sign up for that? Like get on the waiting list for that? It's written and in editing. Is it at the graphic designer yet?
If they sign up, if they sign up for the guide, we can get them their email and send it.
Okay, but it is possible to sign up for the arguments, the objections guide. Okay. All right. Yeah, so we have a guide that is basically how to answer the critics for your homeschooling. And it's already written and done. And I think it's in the graphic designer's hands because we like our products to look really nice for you guys. And it is absolutely excellent. And so I encourage you to consider that. And then if you can email us to make sure that you get it too. What do I think about an umbrella school? I use an umbrella school. So what an umbrella school is it's not actually in my state Okay, I can speak for my state and my personal umbrella school. The structures are different. My umbrella school is I pay them a tuition, which is very low per year. I think it's only $60 or $90 for my whole family. And technically, they are a private school that I am legally under. And so I turn in my attendance to them, my attendance sheet at the end of the year, and I agree to teach certain subjects under that school, that umbrella school. So I use one, and it's also a great secondary legal protection as well. I prefer to go that route because I don't really want to deal with the school system. I don't want to have to give the government a letter. I just would rather keep the government out of it. So that's why I went that route.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mama B. She says, working mom, adopted my granddaughter and starting kindergarten. Where do I start?
Okay. Wonderful. You adopted your granddaughter. What an angel you are. You guys, give this mama a virtual hug. I'm serious. Give her big hearts. And you want to homeschool her. This is so wonderful. So I would strongly recommend that you take my course because it will help you know what to do. It'll help you kind of understand the whole homeschooling world and how you fit in it. And then it also tells you what curriculum is a fit for you because we have a diagnostic test in there that tests all about you, everything you need and everything your granddaughter needs. So I use Check. My umbrella school is called Check. I'm in Colorado. Yes.
Erica Stoner Garcia. I'm struggling with my two boys. Just finished kindergarten in first. I have a toddler too. It was a heck of a year.
Okay, were you homeschooling? Yeah, wait, what are the ages? Because I heard the ages.
Yeah, kinder, first, and a toddler.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that's a heck of a year. Kinder, first, and a toddler. Okay. Once your kids hit third grade, they become, well, and hopefully you're working towards that, really independent learners. That first grader, you should already start. Like when they open their lesson book, rather than you telling them what page they're on and what lesson they're on, I want them to tell you what page they're on. And I want them to start reading their lesson by themselves. Try to get that first grader as independent as possible. For the time being, it might really benefit you to get more open and go curriculum. Do you guys know what open and go means? Let me know if you don't. Yeah, to get open and go curriculum so that you don't have to do any planning. There's nothing worse than, oh my goodness, opening up a lesson and realizing that you need to somehow find 20 rubber bands, 8 paper clips, and a spray bottle. Like, I hate that kind of curriculum. Honestly, I can't stand it. I like open and go curriculum. I'm a working mom and I'm homeschooling 4 kids. So, and it doesn't make my homeschool any less that I'm not building medieval castles out of sugar cubes 3 times a week. It does not make my homeschool any less at all. My kids are still thriving. So, okay. Someone did ask what's open and go. I think someone did ask me what is open and go. Open and go curriculum is where there's really no prior lesson planning requirement from the mom. It literally, you open it and the child opens it and you can just go. You don't have to look at it the night before, gather materials, that stuff. That drives me crazy. That is not my homeschooling style. Now, I have friends that love that stuff. I have a friend who every Sunday night writes lessons in a lesson book. I cannot think of, I mean, I would never do that. I would never sit down and lesson plan. No. I hate that stuff. I open it. It's a high quality enough curriculum where I can open it and I can just teach and go. So that's what we mean by open and go. So you might need that. Back to the mom who has, the oldest is first grade and then it's on down. You got to do open and go, and it may not be forever, but you may end up loving it. And then that toddler, I have 2 videos on managing multiple ages. It's in a playlist on my TikTok page. Watch those videos because it gives you some suggestions on what to do with that toddler. And by the way, with that first grader, homeschooling is only an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and not all condensed either. Like when the baby's down for a nap, knock out some schooling, right? Maybe you can do it all during the nap. You know what I mean? Like that, those are the strategies that we do. So I hope I gave you something, and you can always reach out to me. Okay.
Erica says, thank you.
Hi, Erica. Oh, that was Erica.
Yeah.
Sorry, not a different Erica.
Some other user said, thank you for talking about the importance of choosing curriculum that's right for parent and kiddo.
Okay, thank you for saying that, because one, I feel like a lot of homeschool failure, meaning moms who quit homeschooling, is really just a lack of finding the right curriculum. And number two, if you ask any homeschool mom, and double tap if this has been you, if you're currently homeschooling, ask any homeschool mom, she probably has a curriculum dungeon somewhere in her basement or garage of thousands of dollars of curriculum that she bought, and it wasn't a fit, and it was a complete waste of money. It is a problem in our community, and it can lead to homeschool failure. And I just wasn't having it. Like, I feel like so many moms fail when they don't even know. I can't tell you how many moms they want to homeschool, and then they just buy the most famous one out there just because it's the most famous, and they think that's homeschooling. That is not the only way to homeschool. Yeah, you got to find the right fit. And that's why I often say my course pays for itself. It really does, like tenfold, because it narrows down your curriculum options that fit your personality and your kids' learning style on the dump box. Yes, Michaela, you made me laugh right there. I love it. Yes. Yeah, 4 years with different curricula. Thank you, Quisara 812. Right? This has been a major problem in our community that no one has solved. I'm telling you. And I was like, when I set out to make my How to Homeschool course, or the Start Homeschooling with Confidence course, I told the team, I said, we cannot make a How to Homeschool course if we're not telling the moms what curriculum is a fit for them and their kids. We can't. It'd be irresponsible.
And Kay, Sarah, and Chelsea are asking about unschooling. What is it?
Yeah, unschooling. It is one of the homeschooling styles. I go through all of them in my course. And then we also test you on if you are that. But basically, in not doing it justice, because I'm on a TikTok live and need to explain it quickly, it's child-led education. And it's philosophically child-led. So the child pursues his or her interests, and then the mother has certain techniques that support them, that child, in pursuing that interest. The other thing unschoolers can do is there's little terms that we have in the homeschooling world. We lay out things all around that may interest them, right? Like maybe you would put a guitar in the corner of the room to see if maybe your kid picks it up. You know, that's what basically unschooling is. A great book on Holt is the author that you want to look for unschooling. That's a good place to start. I'll just leave it there. Yeah.
John
Holt.
Realtor and her scooter.
Hi.
To jump on the homeschool train, how do I do that?
Okay, so if homeschooling is a brand new concept to you, just grab that free guide. It's in my link tree. It's not one of those lame freebies. It's 21 pages, and it kind of it introduces you to the whole world. And I would start there, and it's free. Yeah, it's in my link tree.
Chelsea follows up. Honest, I started homeschooling twins in kinder and a fourth grader this year, and I cried every day.
Okay, we need to talk. One, I have twins. We just need to talk the twin thing. Okay, it's one is in kinder. How old are the
twins in kinder and a fourth grader?
Okay. Fourth grade is okay. It's not going to be okay. How do I say this? It's not going to be like this forever. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, and we can connect. You can text me. I want to encourage you. Don't think that it's going to be like that forever. And then I'm very curious too. Maybe we need to do a consultation, because I want to figure out what made you cry, and I want to turn that into what will make you thrive and fall in love with your lifestyle. Because I think homeschooling should be life-giving for mom as well as the children. And if it's not life-giving for you, we need to make some adjustments for sure. It could be as simple as a curriculum change.
She said the wrong curriculum made me cry.
Yeah, the wrong curriculum. Yeah, you guys, this is why I made the course. Yes, the wrong curriculum can make you quit. Absolutely. What did I just tell her before you said that? The life-giving part. I don't want to blow over that, you guys. I want to say that again. Homeschooling can and should be life-giving for you as well as your children. And if it's not, you need to make adjustments. Maybe the adjustments need to be in parenting. That's not her case. It was curriculum. Maybe the adjustment needs to be with curriculum. Maybe the adjustment needs to be with margin, or a lack of it. This is why sometimes when it's really bad, I like to do consultations to really figure it out, pinpoint it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, my last sip of coffee.
We're 20 minutes over too.
But I'm having so much fun.
Woman and Wild. I'm so nervous about starting homeschool with my preschooler and actually being the responsible adult.
Yeah. It is a big responsibility to take your kids' education on your shoulders. That is not lost on any of us. It's heavy because it's something that we normally in our society outsource to strangers. And we're taking that upon ourselves, and now we're responsible, right? We want them to go to college, don't we? Yeah. So, but be encouraged, because although it is a heavy responsibility, one, our support and community out there for you is phenomenal, and our resources are the best of the best in the world, and you have all those resources at your fingertips. So be encouraged by that. When you get set up with the right curriculum and the right community, you're just going to be, you're never going to look back. You're going to love it.
Gia Lou.
Hi,
Any
Gia.
pros and cons with homeschooling? How to cover myself if I need to show proof I'm schooling?
Okay, so can I answer the second one first? The second one is, how do you prove yourself? You have to homeschool legally, and you have to know your state laws. You should sign up with HSLDA if you begin homeschooling, because they will provide any legal protection if the government comes after you. It's very rare. It does not happen. And when it does, HSLDA are they are monsters. They are fiercely protective of our constitutional rights to homeschool. So that answers your legal part, I think, right? And then the first question was?
Pros and cons of homeschooling.
Pros and cons of homeschooling. So there aren't many cons, but I'm going to tell you one. You make sacrifices, and you give up freedom. Sometimes I look at the other moms who are, they're lunching with their friends, and they're going to the gym every single day. I don't have the time for that because I work too. And I'm like, that must be nice. And they get a break. They can have peace and quiet during the day. I need peace and quiet, so I have had to set boundaries with my kids. Another con, this is going to sound silly, but it's true. Your house is messier because people are in it all day. This is real. I'm just keeping it real, you guys. But you know how people when you were in your 20s maybe, and you're like, oh, I could never have kids. And then you have kids and you're like, oh, it's so worth it. That's how homeschooling is. Double tap if that's where you are too. When you cross the bridge to homeschooling, you're like, oh, it's so worth it. I would never look back now. So regardless of those sacrifices that you've made and you've given up a lifestyle. Oh, another con is some moms, they decide to quit, or they have to cut back hours. So it can be a sacrifice financially as well. For all of those have been worth it for me in terms of what I get back with wonderful children who are brilliant and happy and thriving. I have a strenuous academic homeschool, but my kids have zero stress about it. Why? I don't need to give tests. I'm sitting right there. I know if they know it. You know what I mean? I give tests just so I know they know how to take tests, but I don't need to give tests. That's such a source of anxiety for so many kids. My kids aren't comparing themselves to their peers every time they get a test back and then feeling stupid if they scored the lowest in the class. And by the way, when my kid doesn't do well on something, we do it again. And then we do it again. And we spend as much time as we need on it until they get it. And then we move on. You can't do that in school. They just go on, the train just goes, and kids can get left in the dust. Yes.
Okay, Rachel, we're gonna get to her. She feels like it's not life-giving anymore. We'll get to her.
Okay, Rachel.
But I want to go to Tori
Rachel.
first.
Rachel.
Okay, you want Rachel?
Don't leave. Don't leave, Rachel. Okay.
Take Rachel. It's fine. And we'll get to Tori in a minute. But Rachel, I feel like it's not life-giving anymore, but homeschool is the right choice for us.
Yes. Okay. How many years have you been homeschooling? Because burnout can happen. Very, very real.
I'm ghetto, she says.
I love it.
Oh, I'm here, not ghetto. Autocorrect. This is year 2.
Can I save that forever? That is awesome. I look like a conservative girl. I'm from Southern California, you guys. Okay. So I related to the ghetto comment. I know, right? I did a post, I think it was a week ago, where I said like what I am actually listening to in the car, and it was like heavy rap, and my sister loved it. She goes, "Yeah, I've been in the car with you." We're not listening to classical music in our car. No. Okay, but you were saying, yeah, double tap if you guys are the same. You were saying that homeschooling is not life-giving and it's year 2. We need to figure out why. It could be as simple as curriculum, or the curriculum could not be a fit for your kids' learning styles. And then it gets really hard. Okay? I don't know how it is with the parent-child relationship. Do we need to make some tweaks with the boundary setting? Okay? Are you constantly stressed out because you feel behind? If so, maybe we need margin. So it might be worthwhile to do a consultation to really get to the bottom of why it's not life-giving and then make those changes.
She says, no, it's not. We are struggling. It's just me, myself, and I. No breaks, no babysitters. Overwhelming.
Oh, no. Okay, we need to find you ways to get breaks in community. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you need to find, oh, great. Now I'm just giving you something else on your to-do list, which is the last thing you need. Anyway, yeah, I don't want to pile more things for you to do, but I really want you to have support. I really want you to find a way to have some sort of support and breaks. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe you need to build those in with boundaries with your kids if your kids are old enough. So I've built in pretty strict boundaries. I actually have a sign on my door when I'm working. And my kid, unless it's an emergency. And the reason why I do that, you guys, is because I don't want my kids to remember their mom looking at her phone and being on TikTok. And I have to be on TikTok a lot for my job. So I want them to remember me with them and totally engaged with them. And the only way I've been able to do that is to have separate times where I remove myself and I hammer out work. And so, yeah. Okay. We're way over.
Okay. So
one or two more.
We got to get to Tori.
Tori.
Okay, so my biggest fear is not having time away from my kids. She wants to start, but she's concerned about, getting breaks and time away from my kids.
Tori, I have built that into my day. That's what I have done. The other thing is there's all sorts of things you can do. You can join a co-op. You can join a hybrid program, either a public school one or private school ones. What some schools will often do is they'll offer a homeschooler program where you drop your child off for 1 day a week. And that's when you can either, if you're a working mom, you can get a lot of work done. If you are, that's when you can schedule all your errands, for example, and your doctor's appointments when the kids are there. I don't know if you have family that lives near you, but I would definitely, if you do, ask them, and if they're supportive of the homeschooling, ask them, hey, would you come over and would you watch my kids to give me a break once a week? I have a friend they're two sister-in-laws. They're both friends of mine. So they are not sisters, but they share a mother-in-law. And that mother-in-law, who is retired, gives each one a day of the week. And actually, they even have taught her how to do some homeschooling, which is kind of cool. And that's when they do their grocery shopping, they make their doctor's appointments. One of those moms is a college professor, and she hammers a lot of work out on that day. So there are lots of things that you can do to make sure that you get the break. But the other thing too is you need to create an environment and be the type of mom where you don't where you enjoy being around them all the time. I'm not saying that's you, because you could simply just be an introvert. I am an introvert where even when I'm having a wonderful day with my kids, I do need a minute where someone's not talking to me. So you build it in. You figure out community, you do stuff like that. And I only gave you 2 suggestions, but hopefully that gets you started. Yeah. Okay.
We're an hour and a half over.
Okay, you guys. All right. So don't forget, I'm a half hour over. Don't leave yet. Don't leave. You guys, I just want to have a word. What happened in our country was absolutely devastating. I had a lot of moms reach out to me that this was the straw that broke the camel's back. They want to homeschool. If homeschooling is a brand new concept to you and you are on my live tonight, please grab that free 21-page guide. It is not one of those lame freebies that you see people giving out on social media. It is literally meat. It will introduce what homeschooling is. If you're ready to homeschool and you want to start in September, I highly recommend that you take this course. It is 30% off until midnight. We had a miscommunication. They actually, excuse me, they made it 20% off. It's supposed to be 20% off. But I put on this because I had to make this thing above my head this afternoon, and I didn't realize that they had made it 20% off. By the way, I don't make all the decisions. So, but they were able to go in and tweak it so you can get 30% off until midnight, and then you will be able to watch that course tomorrow. Okay, so definitely grab that, and then tomorrow it'll be 20% off, and then it's gonna launch. We're on like a countdown. That makes sense. We're on a countdown for like an official launch. So, yes. Oh, okay. Scott told me. Okay. He's like, tell them the things. Yeah. And when you buy the course, you get in our private Facebook group too, which is kind of cool. And there's lots of things in the private Facebook group. So you guys, any more questions before I go? You guys can do this. Homeschooling is a rich, rich choice for your family. And it provides safety. And just on a personal note, if you guys want to hang around for like to just hear something from my heart, I welcome you to stay. Let's like officially end like the Q&A, and then I can hang out for like 5 more minutes because I want to share something that I've observed that's been happening. If you want to stay around, but I noticed that I've been getting on my posts. I didn't know, like last night was so weird. Normally, it's very rare that I get like a super bad troll. Really, really rare. You guys, and I hardly block anyone because I really try to talk them off their ledge. Because if they're having a strong emotional reaction to me or homeschooling, like they obviously have like something. So I like to try to get to the bottom of it. But I was out all day. I had not checked the news, nothing. And then I went to answer comments on my posts. I try to do that before bed. And I was just shocked at the attacks on me, the personal attacks. I was like, this is so weird. This is exponentially higher than normal. And then, it got to the point where on one particular post, I present a lot of facts, statistics that are pro homeschooling. I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm not in a really good mental state. I need a break. I don't want to start getting angry at these people. I don't want to start saying things that I regret saying, and I don't want to be mean. So I got to take a break. And then so I go to a different post that I knew the comments would be nicer and they'd be my friends like you guys. And then my husband comes in and says, he tells me what happened yesterday. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, is there a connection between, I feel like there was just a heightened emotional state yesterday. And parents, it's really hard to come to the realization, really, really hard for so many parents to come to the realization that maybe they should be homeschooling if they can. And what you have to give up when you do make that decision. So I just found it really interesting. And I think that we just need to have, if you're a current homeschooler, just to have a really compassionate heart to your friends who are scared right now, who have to send right now are sending their kids to schools. Um, I think it's just really important to be really compassionate. And then I realized, okay, the attacks on me and homeschooling were really related. It was fear. It was fear talking. And they want the system parents want the system fixed. They don't want to have to exit the system to give their kid safety. That's a really hard thing. That's a really, really hard thing to accept. And by the way, a lot of parents in our country would have to make major changes and sacrifices to be able to do that. And the thought of that is really, really frightening. So I just want to have like a lot of compassion for these parents and just be a voice that tries to demystify homeschooling for these parents, that it's not as hard as it seems, that yeah, you make sacrifices, but the benefits outweigh those sacrifices. And that, yeah, not everyone can. Not everyone can homeschool. Not everyone wants to, you know? But one of my personal attacks that I dealt with last night was someone told me that I don't actually care about kids because if I did, I would be working to reform the system rather than encouraging moms to homeschool. And that really made my heart heavy. At first, my first was like, that's mean. Like, how can she tell me my calling? How can she doesn't know me? Why is she telling me that my calling isn't worthy? That the passion of my life isn't good enough for her. And that I need to be doing something different for her. But then I realized she's scared. She is scared. So just remember, friends, that American parents are scared right now, and they might be looking to homeschooling. And I think that we have a responsibility to be really honest about what homeschooling is. Yeah, there's hard days. Yeah, you can burn out. But also explain that the benefits are what it's done. Tell them your story. Tell them what homeschooling has done to your family so that they can get a picture and not be so scared of it if they feel like that's something that they want to consider. And again, not every parent can homeschool. Not every parent wants to. I get that. And although I wish the system could be reformed, I actually do believe, I'm very open about this, I do believe the system is beyond reform, and that and I don't feel convicted personally to make efforts to reform the system. My personal conviction and my passion is to help moms take back the hearts and minds of their kids. So I just wanted to close with that. And just, I don't know if you guys believe in God, but just if you think of me, feel free to pray for me because I'm getting a lot of heat. A lot of parents are scared. I'm getting a lot of attacks right now. And I just want to be really loving, firm, yes, but I want to be really loving and careful with how I respond to these parents who more than anything they're scared, you know? So I would appreciate that, and I appreciate all of your support that you guys have given me. Thank you so much. So with that, I just want to say have a wonderful night. Happy homeschooling. Please check out all the resources I have to offer you, even my free one, which really is robust, and giving away a lot for free. And I love you guys. And I'll see you tomorrow on TikTok, right? You guys, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Okay? YouTube. Oh, yeah, I'm now on YouTube. You guys, I'm on YouTube. Isn't that cool? Go follow me there too. All right. Love you guys so much. Mwah, mwah. And let's say a prayer for each other tonight. All right. And all of the parents and kids in our country. All right. Good night.